I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of January 4th, 2017. Happy New Year. First new comic book day of the new year. We're coming to you from a comic shop in Lima, Ohio called Alter Ego Comics. If this is your first time joining us, we always read the new comics of the week the night before, come back Wednesday morning and shoot this handy dandy video to let you know what we like the most, and hopefully you like them too. And you go out and support comics that are awesome. My pick this week is a book that I did not think I would even read, let alone pick, and that is The Unstoppable Wasp, #1, written by Jeremy Whitley, artwork by Elsa Charretier. That's what I'm going with. And this is about Hank Pym's unknown daughter from his first Russian wife. What? You say? You didn't know that Hank Pym had a Russian wife many, many years ago?
Well, he was always married before Jan.
Was he?
And they referenced, yeah. That's always been in the continuity. I don't know how much we knew about his wife. Like, I don't know that she was Russian or anything.
I think they,
she's
they
always
that
been
her name was
there.
Maria or whatever.
Yeah, Maria. Yeah.
Maria.
So she's not an overly Russian name.
Yes, but, and what is this girl's name? Mika? Nika? Something?
Something like that.
What the heck is her name? Anybody? Anybody out there?
Someone like the little intro paragraph there on the first page?
No, not there.
No? Okay.
There is no intro paragraph.
Oh, okay, that was...
Nadia.
Nadia, there
Her
you
name
go.
is, that is a Russian name.
Much more Russian.
So she, when she was discovered to be the daughter of Hank Pym, I suppose she was put into the infamous Red Room in Russia, former home of Natasha Romanoff, aka the Black Widow.
And I think all the other Black Widows too.
Yes, where basically all the athletic, promising females get put into the Red Room and become assassins for Russia. But she, instead of focusing on the physical chopsaki stuff, she decided to focus on her brains that she got from her dad, and she's essentially super duper smart. Now, there's a lot of super smart women in the Marvel Universe now. Yeah. And they're all like under 20. So we've got Moon Girl.
Bobby's pretty smart.
Right, well, Moon Girl is, well, she's presumably over 20.
Yeah, I would hope.
But yeah, within the last 6 months or a year, we've had 2 teenage girls that have dethroned Bruce Banner and Tony Stark as the smartest people on the planet, and Amadeus Cho. He's been knocked off the list.
To be fair, Bruce Banner and Tony Stark are both dead.
They are both dead. So maybe that's...
They might be the smartest corpses
on the planet. And I'm not criticizing smart young women. I'm just saying it's kind of weird that we've had this huge status quo shakeup within a short period
Maybe
of
they
time.
were just always there, and now they're just being recognized.
I think so. So The Unstoppable Wasp features supporting players Ms. Marvel, Bobby Morse, a.k.a. Mockingbird, and it is awesome. It is a nice companion series to a book like Ms. Marvel or Nova or Miles Morales or even the Mockingbird series that recently ended. It's just written extremely well. It's a great character who's so positive. She's probably the most positive character in the Marvel Universe. Ms. Marvel used to be positive, but now she's realized that the Marvel Universe is a scary, dangerous place. And she's kind of...
She's still positive relative to the other heroes.
Yes,
but
she's a realist now.
Yeah, well, she's just had more experience.
Yeah. But man, this girl is so positive. It's impossible not to read this book and smile. Great artwork, great writing. I want to read more. As I said in the beginning, I had no clue. I don't think I've read... I read maybe one comic with her in it, and it's probably the most recent Avengers relaunch by Mark Waid. And she doesn't get enough time. I mean, you don't get to know that character, but this is where you get to know the new Unstoppable Wasp, and it is awesome.
Yes, and it is also my pick of the week.
Both of us.
I'm not going to talk about it more because he basically said everything.
And more.
And more.
Both of us picked Unstoppable Wasp.
And I think Mockingbird is a good comparison because there's a lot of pop culture references. Obviously, Mockingbird's in the book. But if you like Mockingbird or Ms. Marvel, absolutely check that out. Or if you just like cool comics.
I think what we're going to start doing, we rarely mention when we both have the same pick because we want to spread it around, but I think we're going to start doing that because we really want to drive home that this book is great and you should check it out. So anytime we have the same pick now, we're going to tell you.
First up for me this week is another #1 from Marvel, U.S.Avengers. I still want to call it U.S.Avengers. That's weird.
It's Us Avengers.
It is Us Avengers, except there's little dots on the cover, so it's U.S.
But in the book,
Avengers.
it's Us Avengers.
It totally is. Written by Butch Ewing. It's Butch Ewing.
Al Ewing.
Al Ewing? Who's Butch Ewing? Did I make that person up?
Butch Geis. He's an artist.
Al Ewing, and this is part 1 of a story arc called Skullocracy. I originally read it as Scrollocracy, which I would have preferred, but that's okay. And if you look at the cover and see Squirrel Girl and that Pod Lady and the Iron Patriot chick and Robert DaCosta and Cannonball, you go, wait, aren't these the New Avengers? And didn't Al Ewing write New Avengers like a month ago? Yes, he did. So if you've been reading New Avengers, this is a great continuation of those characters in that story. If you haven't been reading it, they give you everything you need to know, and it's actually pretty cool. I was sort of reticent to check it out. I liked Young New Avengers, but it wasn't one of my favorite Avengers books. And Red Hulk, and there's just a lot of ridiculous crap happening on this cover. But the actual book is really, really good. We get DaCosta has bought out AIM several arcs ago. I think it was the first New Avengers arc or just before that, and is trying to turn it into a force for positive using science and superpowers to make the world a better place. And now they've somehow teamed up with S.H.I.E.L.D. and are presenting their own super team to take care of business. And that is what we've got going on. But we get a lot of great character moments with a lot of characters, which is important because 2 or 3 of these characters we've never seen before, or at least I'd never read before. And the Red Hulk on the cover is not the regular Red Hulk, who's depowered, I think. I think when Banner was going around stealing everybody's gamma, he might have depowered Red Hulk. So it's not Thunderbolt Ross. It's another general with a mustache.
It's a clone.
Basically.
Someone who looks a lot like Thunderbolt Ross.
My favorite part is he transforms into the Red Hulk, and all of his clothes get ripped away except for those stretchy pants that everyone who becomes a Hulk wears. Except he still has his aviator sunglasses on. That's awesome. But yeah, this is just ridiculous, over-the-top fun, mixed in with some really good interpersonal stuff. There's definitely kind of a message underlying in this book about America and patriotism and believing, and it's a lot of fun. I was very pleasantly surprised. Also, sometimes this guy looks a lot like Sam Elliott.
Who played Gen? No, he didn't.
He didn't.
In the first movie, in the Ang Lee movie, he played General Ross.
Really?
Yep.
Is that true?
That is true. Research it.
So wait,
check it.
He's Caretaker and Thunderbolt Ross.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. That's the pre-Marvel Studios days. They were like, Sam Elliott, we want you in all our movies.
But yes, U.S.Avengers is great fun and worth your time.
I will second that. It was fun. I think the best part of the book for me was getting the character information. Mm-hmm. They do a really good job of explaining who these characters are, and the characters explain it to you directly. They're doing some sort of video or something. Right. It's like the real world.
DaCosta's trying to make people less afraid of superpowered people, so they're doing some reality-based stuff. But actually, my favorite part was Cannonball talking to the camera, because Cannonball's been around for a while, and his statements are true and resonant and awesome.
And Roberto's. His thing in the beginning. So for old school Marvel fans, you're going to like this even though you don't know who more than half the characters are. It was a fun book. Speaking of fun, you know what? This week was all about fun, as far as I'm concerned. Hawkeye #2 is out this week, written by Kelly Thompson, artwork by Leonardo Romero, and this is more of Kate Bishop being a PI in California. Very Veronica Mars-esque for the 5 of you that have watched that show, and if you haven't, it's probably on Amazon Prime or Netflix or something, so you should check it out, or buy the DVDs. She continues her mission to bring a stalker to justice, but runs into something completely unexpected, which is kind of creepy, and I don't know where it's going, but it's fun, and she apparently has red hair in that picture.
I think it's just yeah, you're right.
There might be a stoplight.
Well, see, her pants are red in the back, too.
There's
just something red behind her.
Yes. Hawkeye is great. It's great writing, lots of fun, great artwork, fun. You know what? My thought this week, as I was reading all that I read, was that I could probably just read the Young Marvel Hero books and be happy. Mm-hmm. Because they're all great, and I throw Hawkeye into that mix as well.
Next up for me is Unworthy Thor #3 from Jason Aaron with art by Kim Jacinto and Olivier Coipel. Okay, so Coipel is credited on the cover. Jason Aaron's Thor, and it's awesome. We got Red Ray Bill and Thor going to blows. The Collector manipulating things, and we get an appearance by a character that 9 of you care about, Thori, the Hellwolf from Kieran Gillen's Journey into Mystery Run, who was a fan favorite character at the time. He is now grown up into a full Hellhound, and we also get... So who wrote Secret Wars? Was that Aaron?
That was Hickman.
Hickman, okay.
Yes.
Because we get to see some of the people we haven't seen since Secret Wars.
Right.
Some of the Thanos minion-y people.
How did they become minions of Thanos? Like Black Swan, she was never a.
Yeah,
She was in Hickman's Avengers run.
that's right. Well, but she was with Thanos in Secret War, right? When
Sure.
she was one of the people in the pod that got over, wasn't she?
Oh yeah, she was. Yes.
And then they all wound up teaming up. I don't know. Anyway, a lot of cool stuff going on. There's a mystery. We got a mysterious figure with these Thanos aficionados who has some connection to Thor and is trying to hide their identity. And it's just a lot of fun. Aaron's run on Thor is amazing. I know we've said it before, but
yeah,
like the scope of the mythology and his ability to tell a 5 or 6 year long story and still have each issue have a beginning, a middle, and end, a point, and be enjoyable on its own is really remarkable.
Yeah, he must have plotted this out like on a bit. He's got some
Or
big
he's
like
really
serial
good
killer
at
wall in his
winging it.
apartment, and it's just like crazy.
It looks like Beast or Reed Richards'
Yeah.
whiteboard in the.
Next up for me, another one of the young heroes, Nova, number 2, written by Jeff Loveness and Ramon Perez, artwork by Ramon Perez. Just awesome. Rich Rider's back as Nova. Sam Alexander is still Nova. They get to meet each other. Sam takes Rich home to his house for a party with his relatives. We see some brief, great interaction between the Novas and Sam's fellow champions when Rich is basically looking at this young generation of Marvel heroes and is like, "You're Miss Marvel? What happened to Carol Danvers? You're Spider-Man? What happened to Peter Parker? Or what happened? Did he know that Peter was Spider-Man? I don't know. But one of Nova's first appearances was in Amazing Spider-Man, so
Yeah.
it may have been his first appearance.
Well, if he was off planet when Peter did whatever he did that made everyone.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it too much, but
that would be complicated.
it's still great. It's fun, but action-packed, and we'll get to that probably when you get to Champions, but there's something that I want to mention in the letters column there.
Okay. I didn't actually read the letters. So.
Yeah, Nova continues to be great, and Cosmo. Sorry,
Cosmo.
Josh was about to kick me under the table if I didn't mention that Cosmo was in this book, and everyone loves Cosmo, right? And he's on the cover of the next issue, so man, it was a Marvel kind of week for me.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I love Rich Rider, who. The New Warriors is a team that nobody really took seriously, and they were kind of the young kids, so it's a good parallel to him interacting with these other young kids.
Yeah.
It's neat. And speaking of young kids, we've got Champions number 4 is my last pick this week, written by Mark Waid with art by Humberto Ramos. The Champions are on their way back from their last issue mission overseas to somewhere deserty. I don't remember exactly which country it was, but... And they are struck down over the water, and they have to, it's kind of a rescue survival type deal. But the team dynamic in here is amazing. The interaction between all these characters, I want to say these characters we know, but really a lot of them have had relatively, I mean, they've all probably had at least 50 or 100 issues across different
Combined,
series.
yeah.
But the dynamic between the people is great. The way they use their powers and the way that they still are teenagers, even though they're superheroes, is awesome, and I love it. It's so rare in the modern era to get characters that don't have history and don't have baggage. I mean, by the time I started reading comics, the X-Men had been a family for like 30 years almost, you know. The Avengers, everybody in the Marvel Universe knew everybody. So these new heroes, you get a new chance to see the dynamics, and there are echoes of the characters, because I mean, almost all of them are to some degree a legacy hero of one type or another. But just seeing them all come together and kind of form those bonds is awesome.
Yeah, and definitely read the letters page in the back. There's someone who mentions, you know, that this book recaptures the fun of reading comics when he was young, and it's kind of what Josh just mentioned, that it's almost like reading a New Teen Titans or an Uncanny X-Men, but a lot lighter at the beginning. You know, you're seeing these new characters trying and figure out where they fit on this team. They're teenagers, so you've got the teen angst that goes with it. So it's very much you know, if you were reading New Teen Titans or Uncanny X-Men when you were a teenager, this will feel very familiar, and it's great. It's great. Again, Marvel's getting a lot of flack from a lot of people, retailers, fans, comic news media, whatever that is, and some of it is deserved, but a lot of it is directed at these younger heroes, and that they're just kind of carbon copies, or that why is Marvel, you know, jettisoning everybody that's older and introducing new young characters. And the books are good. They're really, really good, and you should totally check them out and not just be turned off because Ms. Marvel looks one way, or because there's a Nova that you don't know and you were a fan of Rich Rider. Well, Rich Rider's back. You need to read this. Or Miles Morales is not your Spider-Man. There's something to appreciate in all of those books, and they're just really good. For my money, it's the stuff it's the old stuff, the older characters that are kind of floundering a little bit, and because you've told a lot of stories involving these characters. But even those, like Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker, we're getting new incredible stories from Dan Slott.
Charles Soule's Daredevil's
amazing. Month in and month out, yeah. So I get it to some degree, but I'm also not completely sure where it's coming from. All right, we're going to have to do a super lightning round here because we're almost out of time.
Okay.
Other stuff that we enjoyed that we've talked about before. Old Man Logan is awesome. It's the first part of a new story arc involving the Brood. Woohoo!
Justice League 12 gives us the backstory of Max Lord as it ties into Justice League versus Suicide Squad.
The revamped cover on Saga is here and looks exactly like the original one. I'm not sure.
You can tell the difference, but it's not.
No,
yeah.
it's minimal. Saga 41 is out this week. It's the second to last issue of the story arc.
Justice League versus Suicide Squad number 3. What more do you know?
It's great. Superman number 14, Multiplicity Part 1, brings in Supermen from the multiverse, and it is incredible. And supposedly the Superman in this book will be forever changed by the end of the story arc.
Oh. Those are words that have always worked well in
Yes.
comics. Justice League of America, The Atom, Rebirth number 1. This is the first of the Rebirth one-shots tying into Justice League of America, and we get to see both Ray Palmer and Ryan Choi in the Rebirth universe.
Moon Knight number 10 is out this week. It's the first part of a new storyline and continues to explore what the heck is going on with Mark Spector. And if you read the letters page in this, you'll see everyone is as confused as you are, but everyone enjoys it, and I'm still loving it.
This is the first week starting this year, a new year. We get some graphic novels of awesome Rebirth goodness. We've got Superman out this week, and it is huge and amazing. It is, 7 issues of comics plus a cover gallery and sketches and write-ups, and it is $16.99. And this is probably one of my favorite Rebirth titles.
Probably. It is. Just get rid of that problem.
Detective is close. It's
That,
Superman or Detective
and Detective
are my
are
books.
the two best, and Flash is up there. Those three would be the three that I'd go with. Also, finally, Star Trek Boldly Go number 4 is out. This is the final part of the storyline introducing the Borg to the J.J. Abrams universe, and it was great.
And also out this week, we've got Green Arrow Volume 1 for the Rebirth, written by Benjamin Percy, also $16.99, also really good.
So, man, start the year off right and come to your local comic shop, or go to your local comic shop, either way, and see everything that is there for you to check out. Just so much great stuff. And it is definitely a Marvel-heavy week.
It is.
And lots of good stuff going on there. So, if you would like to continue the conversation about comics that are awesome, head on over to our private Facebook group, and we will approve you and get you all set up over there so you can share your thoughts and opinions on what's great in that group, and we can interact with you. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up, please, and make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you get all the updates whenever we upload anything new. We always appreciate your comments. Oh, and Josh has a question for you. What happened to Qui-Gon's lightsaber?
Yeah.
So if you have the answer to that, post it in the comments below, and we'll pick the best answers and read them on the next episode.
In case you're wondering, I do not consider Sideshow collectible statues canon.
Qui-Gon's lightsaber. Where the hell is it? See you next time.